Plaintiff Kyle is suing his YouTube channel co-host for thinking Netflix original I Care a Lot is fine and entertaining, claiming it is instead objectively bad. Defendant Brandon upholds his position that the new Rosamund Pike vehicle in which she defrauds vulnerable elderly people and traps them in her legal care met low expectations.
Your Honor, thank you for hearing this case. It matters a great deal to me. While Brandon here rated I Care a Lot under the Letterboxd average at 3 generous stars, I'm valuing it at 1.5 stars, and I'm petitioning him to have higher standards for the cinematic art. What we witnessed on Friday with the film's release was inelegant storytelling with no one to root for, political messaging and filmic style grafted on carelessly, and a failure to live up to the admittedly middling expectations set by the premise.
Objection!
Expectations are subjective, although my own expectations weren't exactly high for this movie since I knew exactly what I was getting into. I feel they met those expectations, and this isn't something you can argue against. That's just my opinion.
Too bad it's the wrong one. I used to work in film coverage at an independent distributor in New York City, and I read dozens of scripts just like this one. It wouldn't have cleared the first pass. You know why?
Why?
Here's one red flag that I Care a Lot has lazy writing. I have acquired a copy of the film's English language subtitles in order to get an accurate count of just how many F-bombs they drop in the film's 118 minutes. Brandon, do you have a guess as to precisely how many fucks this film gives?
I don't know, like 45?
Wait, how did you do that? Yes, exactly 45 fucks. That's one every 2 minutes and 37 seconds, including credit sequences, synthy slow-mo montages, you name it.
So what? I buy that these characters would have dirty mouths. Are you really going to police the language of fictional characters? Who gives a shit?
I do. It's not about the usage of the word, but the overusage. What do we gain by having that intense word dropped so casually? Invariably, it loses all meaning and just becomes dull, gray mush. Apply that to the score, the editing, the constant need to feel zany. None of it has any impact after a while.
Okay, but this is a Netflix original. We've been doing this for like 6 weeks now, and 1, maybe 2 of the films have been good. This movie really isn't a big deal. Let's just review it and move on.
No, it is not fine. If this kind of pablum is what passes as a fun, twisty action thriller, we're beyond hope for future releases having quality above them being 2 hours long and shot on a 4K sensor.
Okay, I know you're heated right now, but what were you expecting? It's not like this is going to get nominated for Best Picture or anything.
We cannot get into the relative quality of Best Picture nominations at this juncture. However, Netflix has financed, if not produced, some truly immaculate films over the last few years. They've been courting cinephiles with Roma, Okja, Happy as Lazaro, Atlantics, Private Life, Da 5 Bloods, The Other Side of the Wind, Marriage Story, The Irishman, hell, even John Mulaney and the goddamn Sack Lunch Bunch. To what end? They want to be one of the Hollywood monopolies, and they are really close. And this whole project with releasing a new movie every week in 2021 is what they're doing with it? These movies aren't good. But they control the conversation and keep people hooked to the slop. Can you name one good movie that Netflix is pouring money into for 2021?
Okay, get this. So Dwayne Johnson is Interpol agent, who's the world's greatest tracker. He's hunting Gal Gadot, who's the world's greatest art thief. But surprise, Ryan Reynolds is also there as the world's greatest con man. Brought to you by the director of Central Intelligence and Skyscraper. Eh?
You know that's not what I'm looking for.
Okay. Adam McKay, director of The Big Short and Vice, brings together Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence as 2 astronomers warning Earth of their impending doom by a massive comet. Earth, in this case, is Timothée Chalamet, Cate Blanchett, Meryl Streep, Jonah Hill, Chris Evans, Ariana Grande, Kid Cudi.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
And it's gonna be nominated for Best Picture in 2022.
I hate that you're right.
Okay, what about a modern-day Rear Window starring Amy Adams and Gary Oldman, directed by Joe Wright, who did Darkest Hour, Atonement, Pride and Prejudice.
That will also be nominated for Best Picture. But Joe Wright is no Spike Lee or Martin Scorsese.
Jonathan Majors, Idris Elba, Zazie Beetz, Lakeith Stanfield, Delroy Lindo, and Regina King are black cowboys out for revenge.
I'm listening.
Directed by a British singer-songwriter.
I'm sorry, you lost me.
Lin-Manuel Miranda directs.
Pass.
Dave Bautista, Tig Notaro, pulling off a Las Vegas heist in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. Zack Snyder directs.
I'm pretty sure you made that one up. But shit, I would watch that.
See, most of these movies are just dumb fun. That's totally fine. In fact, some of the coolest movies ever made were a work of clever artists finding ways to express themselves within a studio system where every decision comes down to whatever's most profitable. Just relax, good movies aren't going anywhere. And anyway, this is just complaining about Netflix as a whole, which is unrelated to the case at hand.
Fair enough. Let's talk about the movie then. I Care a Lot still isn't one of the good ones, even though it tries very hard to be. I mean, look at this dolly zoom. What is it signifying? This technique became famous because it made one of the most important scenes in Jaws stand out, but here it's like, she's vaping? That's nothing. She does that all the time. And the scene where she's trying to break out of a sinking car, but it cuts to black in between each shot. They're literally cutting the tension when they do that. We have to demand more of our dumb movies.
Maybe it isn't the most artfully done, but I had a great time once I realized Rosamund Pike and Peter Dinklage were both terrible people. And I could just watch them be terrible.
But why should I care if everyone in the movie is terrible? It starts taking itself so seriously when Marla and Francis are in danger, but it's like, did y'all forget they're exploiting dozens of elderly people to strip them of their money and freedom? These are bad people. I shouldn't feel the need to root for her just because the one case we're focusing on is a worse person than her. But I also definitely don't want any more screen time on the doofuses in the Russian mafia. I just want to see Marla scheme. And then by the end, she's turned into this girl boss where it's like, she's not a lion or a lamb, she's a lioness. And then she gets shot for it. Literally, who am I invested in?
See, I like that she got shot at the end because otherwise, I would have felt horrible that she got away with it.
She did get away with it. Her company is established and has created a cottage industry of ripping off vulnerable people. The harm is done. That's all that matters. Even if she's dead, she's won. And are you seriously arguing that the one good guy in the movie is dude who only owns one hat and calls all women bitch?
I'm not, but I am? Everyone's shitty. Isn't that exposing something about the world we live in?
I'm only shitty when I'm expressing movie opinions. That's all you got on me.
Look, you saw a movie you didn't like. Big fucking whoop. It's not the end of the world. I don't need to share your opinion or anything. It may pain you to hear. You can only control your own opinion. I appreciate you sharing it, but it's time to move on. For me, it was an engaging 2 hours.
2 hours you'll never get back.
And you have to be okay with that. Let people enjoy things.
Don't you dare.
We're gonna be here all day if we don't get this judge's decision.
I guess you're right. Your Honor?
Shut up, losers.
We were just standing here.
Where have you been?
None of your goddamn business. You both have wasted so much of my time and it's only been 10 seconds. Brandon is right. It's just a movie. Get over yourself. It's absolutely forgettable, but I had a great time watching it. So, I'm awarding Brandon the 3 stars.
Come on!
But, while you both were mindlessly arguing, I placed you both under a court-appointed legal guardian.
Wait, what?
Who?
Me. You both have lost your Netflix privileges and are now hereby ordered to do a review of Space Sweepers for next week.
Excuse me, Your Honor, we're actually supposed to be reviewing the Hindi remake of The Girl on the Train?
I don't give a flying fuck what you're supposed to be reviewing next week. I love me a good Korean space opera starring some hot Korean people. So you're hereby ordered by your new legal guardian to make a video about it. I'm taking no further questions. Court is adjourned. Ugh.